Elle, how does a home seller in Hawaii go about getting it started, getting their home sold?
That's really complex question because selling home in Hawaii can be as complicated or even more complex than you do on the mainland. Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because in Hawaii, houses are very different than houses on the mainland. I'm talking about on the mainland, usually they have a very like cookie cutter houses. But here, like different neighborhood, different climate, and different area, different architect. So it's very different. First of all, number one is do your market research. Now with the internet so easy to access, you can do research, on other websites, Zillow, Realtor.com, in our website, Realtor.com.
What should they actually look for on Zillow or Realtor.com?
I think they should look at what your neighbors are selling.
What's been sold already?
Yeah, what's been sold recently. I'm talking about less than 6 months or no more than 1 year. So that's you determine the price. And actually, as a matter of fact, every seller already know how much they want to sell house for before a realtor walk into the house.
Yeah.
Even a lot of them say, oh, I have no idea. I don't really know. Actually, they already have the number in their mind.
Yeah.
So just be mindful, like seller already have expectations. First is market research. Second is prepare your house for sale. Do you know how to prepare your house for sale?
That's a really good question. And first of all, I would think, once the property goes into escrow, typically, they have the home inspection period, right?
Yeah.
And that's called the J1 inspection. And that's like one of the most key elements during the escrow process, because that's when it's most likely that a property will fall out of escrow. Buyer finds something that they might not like, or some repairs that might need it done that scares them off. So what I would recommend actually, before you even put your house on the market, is to have a home inspection done. You can hire a professional inspector to come in, and that way they can check everything out, and you can see maybe if there's things that you want to fix before you go onto the market. Because if everything's done before you go into escrow, there's a less chance that you'll get talked down perhaps on, for repair credits or something like that. So it's a good idea to have it done before.
Yeah, actually that's the best practice. But for most homeowners, they want to pay upfront costs because one home inspection can range from $400, $600, $700, even $800. What if I don't have the money or I don't want to spend money to do the pre-listing home inspection? So what will you do?
Well, you can always have a contractor come in and take a look, go through the house, maybe see some obvious things. Maybe there's things that you have noticed, of course, living in the house that might need to be addressed. It doesn't have to be big things, because a lot of little things add up to one big thing, right?
Yeah.
So if there's things you've noticed throughout your house, it's a good idea to have somebody come in, and it should be a licensed professional too. You don't want just anybody coming in there claiming to be a handyman to fix things. So good idea, have a contractor come in, take a look, and address some of the things you already know. Yes, you do not have to do the home inspection. I mean, home inspections will point out lots of things that you weren't even probably aware of. But if you don't want to do that, at least a good idea is have some of the issues addressed that you're already aware of.
Yeah, that's really good idea.
And another thing to remember too is it's a good idea to consult with the realtor even prior to doing it. Because, realtors, we do this for a living, and we have lots of knowledge and tips that we can pass on to the seller. So, if a seller's not sure what they need to do, then it's a good idea to have their realtor come in and do it. Maybe they're worried about something or have questions, not sure which direction to go. So a realtor can definitely help you, guide you through that process.
I think, do you mean experienced realtors, right? Not somebody that doesn't really have much knowledge about properties, right?
Oh, definitely. You want an agent with a lot of experience, especially a lot of experience in the neighborhood that you're selling
houses.
And they can give you some really good tips. I mean, even if you're not, a lot of times we run into buyers and sellers that think when they're ready to sell or buy, that's when they call a realtor. And I don't think that's necessarily true. It's a good idea to contact your realtor before, so you can get educated on the market, educated on some of the things you might need to do. That way you start fresh with the, with the good ideas, and you've consulted with the realtor, so you know which direction to go.
Yeah, that's really good idea. Second, the third one is curb appeal. It's very important. Have you heard about the first impression?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah, curb appeal is very important.
Yeah, and you never get second chance to make the first impression. So curb appeal is so important. A lot of times we have buyers, clients drive by the house, they don't like the curb appeal, they just walk off.
Yeah.
They don't want to see the house. It's like you go dating, right? It's pretty much like that. Your first impression is very important.
Yeah.
You can hide all the skeleton in the closet, but curb appeal is super important. That means front yard landscaping, the outside of the house, exterior of the house, if the house clean, car wash, paint it's there, and no visible damage, no damage on the house, and not a lot of cars parked on the driveway on the street. So those are very important.
Yeah, it can be very simple things, like you said, just doing some landscaping, maybe power washing the front of your house. You know, these trade winds here in Hawaii, you know, they can build up a lot of dirt caked onto the side of your house and on the front of it. So maybe a power washing. There's lots of different things you can do that can boost up curb appeal.
Yeah, some little patching. And after curb appeal, then buyers walk into the house. Then we come with how you decorate the house.
So that's a very good point, Elle.
Yeah.
And the thing I want to mention about that is, you know, every property is different.
Yeah.
So some properties, maybe a little bit of staging is required.
Yeah.
You know, to show off the space, show off what's possible for a layout inside the home.
Yeah.
A lot of times, if the the home is vacant, then a lot of times buyers kind of get a cold feel to it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why people that have vacant homes that stage typically end up selling their home faster and for more money.
Yeah, and according to the statistic, I mean, the last 20, 30 years, house stage. Nice. After staging, what's the next most important thing? Marketing, photographer, right?
Marketing, getting your property ready for the market. So after you've done the repairs you need to do, the staging, then it comes time to make the marketing material. And now this is stuff your realtor will do for you. But as a seller, you want to make sure these things are getting done. First of all, photography. Every property needs photography.
I don't use a cell phone to take photos.
Yes.
That's the big no-no.
Please make sure that you know exactly what your realtor is going to do and explain to you. I cannot begin to tell you how many times Elle and I have seen properties, and not just cheap properties, but very expensive properties.
Yeah, $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah, and over being taken with your cell phone.
Yeah.
This should never be done. Never be done. And if your realtor is doing this, you might need to question them on it. So for photography, you need a good real estate photographer to come in. With photography, every type of photography has special equipment.
Yeah.
So just in real estate, they got special lenses, everything like that for real estate photography.
How about 3D walkthrough?
Good question. So especially now, and we use this a lot, we use a tool called a Matterport Virtual 3D Walkthrough tool. And this is great because a buyer can go on their computer and take a tour of the property. They can move through. It's a virtual property tour, a virtual walkthrough you can do. And these are really great too because, you know, it can't be edited. So people are seeing exactly what the property is like.
Yeah.
And this can be a good tool to use to get rid of the kind of the looky-loos. They have the opportunity to already go through the property via this virtual tour.
Yeah.
We use this all the time, and it does a really good job really getting your property out there.
Yeah.
You don't have to do any special scheduling for somebody to do a virtual property tour.
So what about I want to know the neighborhood?
Neighborhood?
What do I do then?
Another popular thing when it comes to marketing material is you got to have drone photography.
Yeah, what's
also.
a drone photographer?
So lots of people know drones are getting very popular right now. And so we see a lot of realtors using drone photography. And this is really important because it helps get a look at the property as well as kind of the neighborhood. It gives you a really good overview look at the property. And so this is one very important tool that should be used when putting your property up on the market. Now, true, there are some areas on the island that you cannot use the drone because of flight restrictions and different things like that. But in most cases, a drone can be used. And yeah, it should definitely make sure this is a tool that's being utilized when your property is going up for sale.
And another thing is Hawaii is beautiful all year long.
Oh, yeah.
So you're never shy to show off how beautiful the ocean is and how proximity the property from the ocean. You will be made. People just got so trapped by all the scenery.
Yeah, I can see like if you live in the desert, like in Las Vegas or something, maybe not the best idea for some properties to use drone photography because it might not look that pretty. Yeah. But in Hawaii, using a drone is a very, very good idea because it's so beautiful here. You want to show off the property, show off the neighborhood, show off the surrounding areas.
Yeah. And what's the last thing, and I think the most important thing about selling your house?
I would say definitely getting the right realtor. You got to interview. Don't just, if somebody recommends a realtor to you, that's great, but interview them. Get to know them. Get to know what they're going to do for you. You know, they need to have a plan on getting your home sold. And so just like anything else, when you're going to hire somebody, you should sit down with them and interview.
Yeah, and a lot of us, we don't really sell houses every year, right? You're not flipper. So it's very important. It's a very big event in life. You might sell a house 2-3 times a life, your whole life. So it's very important to hire the right realtor. Check the Google reviews, check the Zillow reviews, make sure they are selling houses, they are full-time realtors, not part-time. And what are they going to bring on the table? So make sure interview at least 3 realtors.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely a good idea because, you know, you want to make sure not only, you know, they're going to do the right things for you, they got a good idea for your property, but also your personality is kind of matched. Somebody that you're going to enjoy working with. So very good idea. Like Elle said, you know, interview at least 2 or 3 agents before you make that decision.
Yeah, because it's so important. You can be a night and day you hire different realtors, you can get different value, different price and bottom line and proceeds when you sell the house.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. So overall, just do your research, market research, realtor research, and your neighborhood research. That will be the best bet.
Yeah.
And if you have more questions, like and subscribe as many questions you have.
Yeah. Take care.